Hi everyone, it's me, it's Hedda, Yom Tov, and happy Monday to you all. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. I had a very, very peaceful Shabbat actually. And I had an extra peaceful one because I decided just to not put the computer on, for I think from Saturday onwards sometime. And had yesterday off in complete peace, and it was wonderful. It really was nice. I wanted to thank everybody who they've been really supportive, especially this last couple of weeks, because it's been a little bit crazy. And I wanted to sort of explain to you, why there's just likes and dislikes now. My son explained to me that, after I'd realised that, me reacting the way I did and getting all upset was really silly. And he'd said to me, you know what, Mum, you are getting silly over one or two people, and, between them they've got lots of what he calls sock accounts. Not quite sure really what I totally understand by that yet, but apparently they just have lots of different accounts, and, they're just... for some reason, they just really don't like me. And it had bothered some of the Haveners, because I have received an awful lot of messages from people asking me, telling me they didn't like seeing me upset, that they were worried about what was happening. They were concerned that I was going to just feel the pressure too much and just say, that's it, I've had enough, I'm going. No, I'll say to you what I said to them. Yes, I put my hands up, I was silly for reacting, but it was my thing. The first time I was really upset, yes. The second time I was angry that it was going to affect any of our Haveners, because I know some of you are very shy. There'll be some of you who probably just want to watch and never want to comment. But I feel very protective of all of you, because you do mean a lot to me. I mean, you really do. You mean a hell of a lot to me. And, you guys have been brilliant, because the comments, I cannot fault our comment section in the Haven. You're so responsive to me. I like to think I'm just as responsive to you. You talk to each other. I'd love for you to keep that going, because I'll tell you what means the most to me at the end of the day. I'll be quite honest with you, I thought I'm going to hide the likes and dislikes, because first off, what I can't see can't either upset me or distract me from my goal, which is to make sure that nobody is alone. Remember the words from Message in a Bottle, and that you guys are loved, wanted and needed. That's my primary focus. And obviously to make you happy. And if I can smile, get you to smile along the way, then that is a massive bonus. And my goal is to build a family community, if that's possible. Now look, let's be real. I am a very tiny channel, and I'm never really going to grow. I'm not, I know that, because I never ask anybody to subscribe. I'll get my words out yet. I never ask anybody to subscribe. I'd still ask you, if you want to like the videos, please carry on liking them. Also tell me what you think about them, because don't forget, it's you that leads me. I want to make you happy, but you have to tell me what makes you happy. And then I'll do it. To the best of my ability, I'll do it. Health permitting, fingers crossed. But this is the important message that I want to get over to you. You know, I got a little piece of advice this morning, and it was, fools take a knife and stab you in the back, but wise people take a knife, cut the cord, and move on and leave all the toxicity behind them. And that's what I've done. I've cut the cord, I've moved on, and I'm embracing this new chapter in my life, which is the Haven. And I can honestly tell you guys that since the Haven came into being, and since we started gelling and becoming more of a community, and people eventually speaking up, there are people starting to speak now that have never ever said a word up to this point. And I'm so grateful. And I wish more of you would speak, but you know what? I totally understand. There are some people who watch videos who never comment, because that's all they want to do. They either just want to watch a video, or they feel too shy to make a comment, or whatever reason that they have. But it's important to me that you always tell me what it is that you want from the Haven. Because first and foremost, the feedback that I get is that you want somewhere where you feel it is a safe haven. You want somewhere that you're accepted completely for who you are and never judged. You want somewhere where you can give your opinion and nobody is going to turn on you. Because in this community, we can give as many opinions as we like, as long as it's done with kindness and with respect, because that's what's important. So I just wanted to say that I have made some really great friends here. And, you know, some of them have, you know, slowly but surely woven their way into my heart, and I really love these people. I'm getting there all emotional. Try not to do that. They really have. They've woven their way into my heart. And I've realised that each and every one of them is different, but they're all special in their own way. And that's how I feel about all of you. Even some of you may never talk to me, but that's fine. You know, as long as you guys know that if there's something that I do that you don't like, tell me. And if there's something that you do like, tell me. If there's something that you want, tell me. And if I can do it, I will. Now, I want to bring one thing to mind. One of our regulars, who's called Carolina TV Girl. Hi, Carolina. Suggested to me a book called The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Stories. Well, she told me about it. I've never heard of it, but she told me about it. And it's supposed to be this weird sort of working of different sort of nursery rhymes, come fairy stories, come folk tales, but they're kind of, not in a nasty way, but they're sort of like funnily twisted up, so you can have a laugh with it. So anyway, Carolina, I've bought this book, and it's winging its way to me now from Amazon, and I'm always watch my pennies, so I managed to get this book for £1 British penny. One. Plus there was the postage on top, but it was one from a library that somebody sold on, and it's in really good condition, and I thought, well, if it's a penny, that's got my name on it, so I bought it. And that's another one to add to the library. But anyway, just so you know, you guys are so important to me, and to all the wonderful friends that I've made through the Haven. I love you guys. I really do. there are so many of you, and I don't want to say the names because there is bound to be more than one that I forget to mention, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So I'm just going to say, you lot, you know who you are. And you know how I want this channel to work. And I just wanted to give you guys a little insight into how you affect me. Now, I suffer from chronic pain. I had to take some Off before I came on to film because my neck and my spine and my shoulders just do not like me today. And if you saw me from the side, you would see that I've got a large hump between my shoulder blades. But that's because my neck bones are crumbling and it's pushing my head forward. So it's really difficult me looking right upwards now or moving my neck much from side to side. I can sort of do it, but it's painful. It's also causing me to lose feeling in those two fingers, and I can't feel what's on the back of my hands either. And I get a bit of carpal tunnel in these fingers. So sometimes typing gets too much. And when I hold a pen these days, oh my goodness, my handwriting looks like a spider being sick across a page. It's just, it's disgusting. Well, when I put a video out and I get the feedback from you guys, and it's always very positive, and that does me up here an awful lot of good. You've no idea how much good you do for me. So this is one of the many reasons why you guys are so important to me and why I want to try my hardest to give you the content that you ask for. So, I mean, I know there's not many come on a Friday night, but I know that you're very excited about how the service series is going. And I think, when I look back, I think it was a great idea, me reading a series, because it's got everybody wondering what's going to happen next. I've had so many requests for things for folk tales, because it's amazing the messages I've got saying, would you do something from Camelot and King Arthur's court? Would you do stuff more Native American things? Would you do more Welsh stories? Just people saying, well, they're giving me book requests. Like Daphne gave me, hi Daphne. Daphne gave me the ones for Beadle the Bard, and people are enjoying that. Now Carolina has given me the one for Mr. Cheese the Stinky Man, or Mr. Stinky the Cheese Man, or I can't remember. Anyway, so I'm getting book requests now saying, would you please read these to us? I'm also getting requests for old fairy stories that people haven't heard since they were very small, and they'd love to sit back, relax and hear them again. And it's funny how the folk tales are going, because at first I just thought, oh, well, I'm just going to pick a story and read it from around the world. And then people are saying, oh, no, we don't mind what you give us. And then I'll get messages saying, well, actually, on second thought, do you think I could have so-and-so and such and such? So the folk tales is actually going a lot better than I thought it would. I mean, I know it's not going to appeal to everybody, but it's that age-old thing. If people see something that they're not keen on, they don't have to watch. You might get a load of people who like only coming for the folk tales. They might only like coming for the spooky stories on Friday. They might like only coming for Mondays. That is, if I'm fit enough to be able to do a Monday, because sometimes I'm not. But there's something there for everybody. And I think that's important. I wanted to be able to tell you some of the things that help me to relax and try and distract myself. And this is a twofold thing. It's to distract myself from any going into a grey mood. Let's put it that way. Or when I feel so overwhelmed by pain that I think I can't keep taking mouthfuls of Oromorph because it has a knock-on effect with knocking me out for hours. And I can't, now I've got a purpose in my life. I mean, I'm not saying that my husband and my children aren't a purpose in my life, of course they are. But for me personally, my life purpose has become the Haven. And I am determined not to let you down and be there for you. I know you're all very understanding. I get that. But I don't want to let you down. And I look forward to reading the stories. I love reading out loud. You know how much I love books. So I love reading to you. And if I can do a daft voice or a daft ad lib along the way, all the more the merrier. If it makes anybody smile, it's a huge bonus. So there's several things I do. I do spend a lot of time looking up stories, both for Wednesdays and for Fridays. I make notes. I make bookmarks on my laptop. So I do that. As you know, I'm a voracious reader. At the moment, I'm reading a series of books by an author called Barbara Erskine. She writes historical novels. They are all based on fact. But they all have an element of the paranormal in them. A lot of it is woven up with past lives or sort of remote viewing, this sort of thing. And her books have got me fascinated. Her first book was called Lady of Hay, and it was based on a true life figure at the time of King John in England, roughly about the time of Magna Carta. So that was a very important era. And I read that. It took me about a week, and I was literally devouring that book. I couldn't put it down. And then our next book was called Kingdom of Shadows, and that was set about the time of Robert the Bruce in Bannockburn. So again, another important era, but there was that hint of the paranormal running through it. And if you look up Barbara Erskine with an E at the end, and you'll see her bibliography. And she is a wonderful storyteller. Very humble woman, but she's got magic in her words, and she just holds me there. I also like reading a lot of true crime. So I recently finished a whole load of books about the mafia. They got up to some terrible things. I read a book about a guy called Richard, I can't remember his second, Kulikovsky or Kaminsky or something like that. He was known as the Iceman. And oh my God, we just don't know how many people he killed as a mafia hitman. So I finished a book about him. When I'm not reading stuff on the laptop and not in real life books, like I say, the one I'm reading at this moment, and I've nearly finished, is Barbara Erskine, and it's called Sleeper's Castle. That's the one I'm reading just now, and I'm very, very near to the end, as you can see. And then I've got another book to read after that, about 4 of hers, 4 more new ones that I haven't read yet. So believe me, that's going to keep me busy. I listen to music, and I've got my life sort of set into different categories. When I was little, it was the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. The first Jethro Tull song I ever heard was Living in the Past. So that would have to be my all-time Jethro Tull song. So, like I say, I grew up with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. And then, of course, it was going into disco as I got older. So I listened to an awful lot of stuff like that, you know, and it was brilliant going from 77 to 79, you know, and it was Night Fever, and the Bee Gees were at their height with their sort of stuff. So I still listen to things like that. But it was late 1979, and I was at a school disco, and one of the girls put in a request for this song that I'd never heard before, by a band I'd never heard of before, called Lynyrd Skynyrd, and it was Freebird. And at first I thought, because they just finished with doing something like the Jackson 5 and Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, which is another one of my favourites. Oh no, it was Shake Your Body Down to the Ground. That was my favourite of theirs. I loved that one. A friend and I worked out dance routine in the middle of everybody. We looked ridiculous, but what was it? It was the 70s. What could you do? Anyway, I was listening to this Freebird and I heard the intro and I thought, the heck's this? I don't know if I like this. And I was going to go up to the DJ and ask him to put something better on. And then I heard the words, and then it cut to the guitar solo, and that's it. It was like, I need to hear more of this. Something just clicked. I don't know what it was. I then very quickly moved on to AC/DC and Motorhead. And they've kept me going all these years. Boston and Fleetwood Mac. I'm trying to think of all the other ones. I like, there's, oh, do you know, I'm trying to remember them all now. Tom Petty, Wishbone Ash, like I said, Jethro Tull. Now I've seen them in concert. I saw AC/DC in concert. I've seen Motorhead 4 times. I've seen Jeff Beck. I've seen Whitesnake. You know, quite, you know, Status Quo. You know, quite a few bands. Some of them I've forgotten at the moment. But, Scorpions I've seen. And, who was it who did? Judas Priest. I've seen them, you know, breaking the law. That one. Sorry about that. So I put my headphones on. I turned it up to 11. If anybody remembers, this is Spinal Tap. And I listen to my music. I can't headbang anymore. I used to, but I can't headbang anymore. So I love that. I mean, I also like classical stuff too. I like Peer Gynt by Grieg, that's my favourite. And then I like waltzes by Strauss, especially the Blue Danube Waltz. I can just close my eyes and drift away to that. So, like I say, there's lots and lots of different artists and, you know, people that, you know, I enjoy listening to. I mean, the main song I had at my wedding was At Last by Etta James. I also loved Aretha Franklin's Respect. I love Whitney Houston. I think I've honestly got to say that the majority of female artists that I loved were all ladies of colour. Like, oh, do you know, it will come back to me. Donna Summer. She did I Feel Love. Oh my goodness. I could still listen to that now and get carried away. So like I say, there's my music. And then I like to sit in my garden. And you don't get much traffic up and down outside my back garden. It's very quiet. And just look at the flowers. And it's, you know, looking at my flowers and studying them and watching the bees. I grow a whole lot of lavender separate from my flowers. And it's amazing watching the bees hovering all over the lavender. I've got a plant called a hosta and it's named Captain Kirk. I've got one named after Princess Diana. So I just got them because, well, obviously, oh, and that's another thing. My other big distraction is, once I have taken some more off, is getting into my other chair. I've got like an electric chair that I can put my feet up, and watching Star Trek movies and Stargate SG-1 and the Orville. I like watching that. Anything that's space related, I'll watch. My favourite and very first DVD that was ever bought for me was Armageddon. And I adore that movie. Space Cowboys. You know, because those four guys in there, you know, lovely. You know, just anything that's, you know, a little bit of fantasy that you can just switch off from your everyday life, and then the movie ends and then you've got to put your feet back down on earth and come back to reality. But I do all those things to make me happy. And I'm not saying that I don't have to take a few extra painkillers, maybe a mouthful or two of Oromorph along the way, but it's a lot less than if I was just sitting doing nothing. So apart from being online with you guys, I'm with my family at meal times, you know, I'm with them all weekend. I see my husband in the morning and then I see him when he comes in from work. The kids flit in and out the kitchen during the day. The cats flit in and out when they want something. One of these days one of them will jump up on my knee and I'll show them to you. One of them. But that's basically what I do to divert myself, and it's a little bit about my life. The other thing I just wanted to ask you guys before I go is, what do you think of the new do? And I'm going to tell you something a little bit crazy. I couldn't think of how I wanted my hair to be. And you can tell it's now growing longer. And my hairdresser, who's, you know, she looks on me as her adopted mum, known her for many years. And she said, "What do you fancy this time?" And I said, "It's really weird, because I remember I was sitting in front of my laptop and I was talking to myself, but out to the universe. And I said, can you give me a clue as to how I should have my hair done when the stylist comes later today?" And then I pulled up my laptop, went to YouTube, and down the side was a video about a guitar rock star who died in 1982. And he was called Randy Rhoads. He was a guitarist with Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, that's another one, Black Sabbath. They're another band I love. And I reminded myself what Randy looked like. And I saw how he had his hair. And funny enough, it was exactly how I had my hair back in 1982. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go back 30 years. I mean, I know he's been gone, for, it's a long time now, 37 years. But I thought, oh, well, here's to you, Randy. And thank you for the inspiration. So that's what she did for me. She's put absolutely tons of layers in. Just trim my length a little bit. My fringe is gone. So I'm just going to grow it down. Let it fall out. And there. So what do you think? Do you like it? I must admit, I like it. It's easier to dry. It's easier just to put my fingers through. And it's much, much easier to handle. So hope you like it as much as I do. Anyways, 30 minutes, so I think that's enough for one day for you guys. I've tortured you enough. I hope all of you are happy. That's what I want for you above all, because I wish you tons of good luck, lots of good health, and a lifetime of happiness and love, and then some. And I wish that for all of you. And thank you again for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being so supportive in the comments. I don't know where I'll be without you. And thank you to all the wonderful friends I've made. You all know who you are. And I wish I could give each of you a hug and a kiss on the cheek. I can't, so that will have to do, I'm afraid, for this lifetime. Maybe in the next lifetime we'll all be together. What do you think? That'd be a nice thing, wouldn't it? So if you can, guys, do a mitzvah for someone. And if you do like this video, would you please like it? I'm not asking anybody to subscribe. If you want to be here, you'll be here. But if you do, remember just to ding the bell, and then you know when I'm putting a video up, so you don't miss it. But I never ask anybody to subscribe. It's optional. If you want to be here, you will. If you want to stay, you will. Everything here is all free will. So I shall say goodbye to you for now. And for those of you who love the folk tales, I will see you on Wednesday. So take care. I love you all. And enjoy the rest of your Monday.